Someone else.
What are you making now?
I don't know. What are we making?
We're making s'mores.
Okay.
S'mores or s'mores?
S'mores.
S'mores?
Because
Can
in
you
a
take
minute
what
I'll
we
make
have
some more ice cream.
All right. So theoretically, we would have gone a little bit faster, but warm your fluff to put it in the mix. Give it a good little stir so it's easier to get out. So for this, so summer's coming up. When you have, your store or push cart or whichever business you're going to have, you got to think of flavors that's going to sell great in the summer. Everybody relates s'mores with summer, right? Now, we don't have any toasted marshmallows. However, there are companies like Green Mountain Flavors and Weber Flavors that have a toasted marshmallow extract that you can purchase just to add a splash to it to give that toasted flavor if you wish. I have used plain marshmallows before, and what happened to that little one? Oh, this will work. Plain marshmallows, and they disintegrate in the machine, so you might as well just go for the fluff. So theoretically, if we would have been warmed it up a little bit and then gone straight to here, it would have been a lot easier to get out, and it'll probably mix a lot better. But mixing it with your mix first will make it easier to pour down the machine. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of like stuck in the throat. And it'll mix fine in the machine, but it'll all be stuck down in the throat of the machine.
How did she get in? Not Paula, my wife. Sammy. She snuck in.
So let's see if we can even mix it just a smidge so it'll go down very well. And the machine will do the rest of the work. So I think you have the formula, right?
Yes.
That's good enough.
Oh, to give out.
Oh, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
You need it?
Well, it'll probably be good.
Okay, so 7 ounces of marshmallow fluff, warm for easy pouring.
Got it.
2 sleeves of graham crackers.
Got it.
20 ounces of Hershey's chocolate bars, chopped.
We got it.
All right.
I think we're good.
Okay.
All right.
Now you already did the no, the white chocolate chips are in my stomach, Jeff. Weeks ago. You want to talk about the Hershey's chocolate bars and how you prepared it?
So everybody knows that Jeff talks and Steve about the Ninja blender, so popular. They're not, sponsors for them, but they live and breathe Ninja blenders. I like to do mine ahead of time because it's awfully loud to do it in a class. I opted to buy the actual Hershey bars and then chop them up first versus the chips. Chips are classic. You always see chips in almost everything. So this gives them a different shape and, of course, a different texture. But that's a preference. You don't have to. You can use really any type of chocolate. Now, we freeze them. Now, I know it sounds kind of silly if it's a machine, a batch freezer that gets super cold and you put room temperature chips in it, it's going to melt it. It doesn't. But freezing them first helps them hold their texture and their shape. So they're not going to, kind of break down and disintegrate too much. Some of them will, and they'll blend in real nice with the mix. But freezing them first will definitely keep their texture. All right, we ready?
Yep. Yeah, it's going into the CB350. I checked that the gate was closed because the last time we used it was to sterilize it, and we left the gate open, and all of a sudden you're pouring the mix into the machine. It's going all over the floor.
Whoops.
And you're cursing that Steve Thompson for building a terrible machine, and then you realize that the gate is open.
And look at that. I got some plops out of the machine.
Not bad.
Well, it's the fluff.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to turn it on. We're going to do make ice cream. Now we're just going to do plain basic homemade. There are different settings on here that you can pick. If you want to make super fluffy, traditional homemade ice cream, you're going to do homemade. You can also slow it way down to make a super premium or a custard or even a gelato. So the slower the machine runs, the thicker and heavier your ice cream is going to be. But we like to run it homemade because we're going to double our yield. What we put in, we're going to double that back out. Homemade. And start. So we're going to get that going. We're going to, I guess it's over there. I think I can do it by hand. We're going to add in our graham crackers. I think that's good. I'm gonna save this for something else. And then what else do we add? We got that. We got those. Okay, now what I'm gonna do. No white chocolate chips. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my refrigeration and let this run for a couple of minutes before I add in some of my chips. The reason is my mix is gonna get a little bit thicker, so that way my chips aren't gonna just sink all the way to the bottom. And then that also comes when you go to extract your product. If you pull yours very, 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 very thick, the chances are a lot of your product, like your marshmallows, if you put those in there, your chips are gonna kind of stay and get stuck in the machine. Like Steve was mentioning before, like he said, you've got 90% of your product still stuck in the machine because you pulled it too thick. So I like to pull mine a little bit on the thinner side, so that way all of my chips and my ice cream and product can come out.
Freezing at a shorter amount of time versus longer is not going to change the texture. The texture is already in there once the freezing process has come to a near finish. So pulling it out stiffer is not going to get you a smoother, creamier ice cream. My own invention of now 24 years, the infinite overrun control, where we can make any product that exists right now and any product that will ever come along, and nobody else has this except me, is the ability to slow the drive down. So as Christy was saying before, that if you put a dairy product into a bowl and stir it with a whisk, it's going to remain a liquid. If you put an electric mixer in there, it's going to blow up to whipped cream. So the highest setting is going to blow the ice cream up. We want air. Air is an important part of ice cream. We can give you less air, we can give you way less air, and we can give you the lowest air content that exists in nature. But there are caveats to that, because the lower you go, the heavier the product is. The heavier the product is, the heavier it sits on your stomach. So back in the late 60s, early 70s, I was just in high school, finishing up and going into college, and I started working at Emery Thompson, my family business, when I was 16. So I was working with Reuben Madison, his mother, and they wanted a very heavy ice cream. It didn't sell that well in ice cream cones because it was so heavy and dense that it left you feeling full. But it was fantastic for pints, because when you bring a pint home, you take a bite of it as soon as you get home. And then at dinner at 7 o'clock, you have a little more. And then at 11 o'clock at night, you take another taste before you go to bed when everybody else has gone to bed and nobody sees you. You don't sit down for the most part and eat a whole pint of Haagen-Dazs. It would just sit so heavy. And it's like going to your favorite Italian restaurant. If you eat the bread, and the garlic bread, and the antipasto, and the main course, you come away from Luigi's, you've eaten everything, and it's all very heavy and dense. You feel terribly full, and you don't say, I ate too much. You say, oh, Luigi's food makes me feel so full, I'm not going back again for another month. Well, that's deadly for an ice cream parlor. Plus, when we go to scoop the ice cream for a scoop, the proper way to scoop is in a semicircular motion like this. So you're rolling the ice cream onto the scoop. Nobody does this. I want you to go home. Don't do it right now, but go home, pick up a spoon tonight, and go like this for about 2 minutes. You will curse the day you ever heard my name, because your wrist will hurt so bad. And your employees aren't going to do it either. They're going to just say, oh, that's killing me. You're going to go from north to south. We got all the strength in the bicep. You're going to scoop from here to here. So if I make maximum air, 100% overrun, what my employees are really selling to the customer is 80% overrun, because they're compressing the ice cream as they scoop it. When we fill pints, we like to do it from the machine because now we're getting the full air content, we're getting the full value. If you're hand packing ice cream that's already made, it's very heavy, and you're making it even more compressed. It's a bargain for the customer, but it's not profitable for you. So you can adjust the air to what you want. If you say I want to do only frozen custard, there's a setting for frozen custard. Pop it back up to full speed, and we'll get that very last bit out.
So now, even though we're still adding marshmallows to it and you had that fluff, we'll just go ahead and stop it. Adding that fluff to your ice cream mix into the machine, you are actually giving the ice cream its, oh, so close, its actual flavor of the s'mores that you're looking for. If you were to just add the marshmallows, then people are going to bite into the ice cream and then taste the marshmallow that they just bit into. All right, and I didn't get my cups ready. 2, 3, 4. Alrighty.
Jeff, I forgot to add that your ice cream, no honeybees were injured in the making of this product.
Does anybody have any questions while I am doing this?
Questions? No?
So the chocolate, you blend that, right, at first, and then you freeze it.
Yes, ma'am. And actually, I just froze the entire chocolate bars themselves. And then after they were frozen, I unwrapped it because it prevents the melting on your fingers because it's milk chocolate.
Otherwise, if you're using them at room temperature and you put them in a blender, it turns into mush.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything with it. With this, it's a powder. It's also great at Christmas time because everybody makes candy cane ice cream. I'm always afraid of a small child getting a sliver of candy cane in their throat. So I don't make my candy cane that way. I take the candy canes, freeze them, unwrap them, and then put them in the Ninja blender
Wow,
and grind them into
great
a
idea.
powder. That way, you've got the nice pink color from the candy canes, and you've got every particle of dairy has a particle of candy cane next to it, and it's delicious, and you don't have to worry about small children.
And it is a very beautiful pink. It really is. I mean, you can't get any more natural than that.
Well, yeah, it's artificial coloring.
I say natural, and then you follow it with artificial
Red
coloring.
Dye 40. If you want all natural red color, you go to Green Mountain Flavors in Oswego, Illinois. He makes Red Dye 40, but it's actually concentrated beet juice. Nobody eats beets. My wife eats beets.
Mickey eats beets.
Yeah, awful. But they take all the taste out of it, and it's a little thing of dye like that. And so you're putting the red color into your cherry Italian ice or your strawberry ice cream. So you've got all the advantages without the disadvantage of Red Dye 40. Great place, Green Mountain Flavors.
That's that green folder that's underneath the other ones. That's that gentleman. His name is Stan. He's a super great guy, and we actually have that red beet concentrate up there. When we do our break, you can welcome to look at it and smell it. Doesn't smell like beets. It's just eliminating that whole entire red dye number 40, which, believe it or not, makes my daughter's stomach very upset and kind of queasy. So
The Red Dye 40.
it does.
What I like about using something natural like that is a young mother comes in with her 6-year-old daughter, and the daughter sees the cherry Italian ice and wants that, and mom says, oh, no, you're not having that. That's Red Dye 40. I'm not allowing you to have it. You, the owner, say, oh, no, ma'am, that's not Red Dye 40. That's concentrated beet juice. And she looks at the product, she looks at you, and she thinks to herself, wow, if they're going to all that effort just to get rid of Red Dye 40 or Yellow 17 or Green 6, what's the rest of this place like? I mean, it just shows very well your store that you're going. You don't have to go, I don't think you have to go organic. Organic is just too expensive, too hard to obtain, and it's hard to convince yourself that it is worth the money. I mean, if a head of lettuce is 99 cents and the organic is $1.29, sure, I'll buy the organic. But if the head of lettuce is 99 cents and the organic is $2.49, as a non-vegetarian, I can't convince myself. But all natural, whenever you can do it, is absolutely important. Yeah, if you're going to make bubblegum Italian ice, the bubblegum trees here in Florida got wiped out in the last hurricane, so it's hard to do. You're going to have to, there is no bubblegum. You're going to have to use an extract. So if you want to make a concession to children, that's one thing, but you try to keep the store as all natural as you can. It goes a long way into your marketing, and it says a lot about you. Like Jeff says, you're not afraid to spend money on the product. You want to give the people the best you can, and it pays back many times over because you're going to have that line out the door. Yeah, you cost more, but you're better.
So let's talk about marketing, what he just said. So everybody knows we can do pints to go, we can do quarts to go, half gallons, ice cream pies. This is where you can have a good money maker. We just did a s'mores ice cream, some more ice cream pie. I can see that being a big, huge hit. You can decorate this super pretty any which way you like. It's the same ice cream that we just made. You could sell this for about $15, $18, $7, your choice. Nothing but profits. The pie crust I cost $3, I think, and 89 cents. It's amazing what you can do. So we're going to make an ice cream pie with this. And Steve already said he claimed it, so sorry everybody else who's watching.
Yeah, but I didn't explain why to Christy. It's really, really important. I'm sorry, it's a guy thing. If you've got a pint of ice cream, guys are always going to buy 2 because they know that the first pint's going to disappear in less than a day, maybe a day and a half. And your significant other can tell that you were in the ice cream because there's only 1/4 of an inch left. But with a pie, you've got the pie and you had a piece each for dinner. And then at 11 o'clock at night, you can go over into the freezer and you can cut off a 1/4 inch sliver and have that, and it'll never be noticed. And another 1/4 inch sliver, and it'll never be noticed. And then tomorrow night, first thing you do is you're a good husband, you offer your wife a slice of pie, and then you're back to the 1/4 inch slivers. You can go through that whole pie 1/4 of an inch a sliver at a time, and they're never going to know. A guy who had teenage daughters taught me that trick. He said that and having a garbage can with a silent closing lid goes a long way in his family because nobody knows that he's eating at 2 in the morning. So pies are great, and if you charge $25 for that pie,
You could even do that.
and it lasts for 4 or 5 days, they're really getting their money's worth.
And then I even, before I chopped them all up, those little Hershey squares, I even saved some of those. Whoops. So I can decorate it the way that I want to.
So is that just regular pie crust?
Yes, ma'am, that graham cracker.
And what are they, about $1.29?
About $3. And then this is the protector that goes in there. Take it, turn it upside down, or turn it the other way. Fold it back over. Oopsies.
$20, $25 retail.
$10. $10.
Nope.
And then look at that. You
Sell 'em
can't
all
tell
day,
me that you
$10.
would not be
could
buying
sell 'em all
this
day for
s'more
$2
ice cream
too.
cake.
Amazing.
$10.
Yeah, yeah.
You're making a lot of money.
See?
And they look
Easy.
great.
Yeah.